Hello, artful people. In this project, you are demonstrating to me that you understand the color families. So hopefully you have completed a worksheet that looks like this or something similar to this. If you have this, put it out next to you so that you can reference it while you're doing this project. And you are going to need your handy dandy art kit today. All right, so go ahead and open this up. And you're going to need to pull out a clean piece of paper and completely remove it from the sketchbook. Yikes. All right, we're gonna use all these things today, so dump it. Don't make a mess. All right, so I'm gonna open this up and find a clean piece of paper. I feel like these don't fold very well at the top, so just try your best. All right. When I do this, I like to kind of pull at an angle and slowly move my hand, and it should tear it out in a nice clean line. I'm gonna close this up, and I'll probably use the back of the sketchbook later to draw on, but we need to make this into a square first. And if you're not sure how to do that without drawing lines and cutting things, all I'm gonna do is take one corner, doesn't matter which corner, and fold it to the opposite side. So I'm going to fold this to the opposite side and then slide it until this comes to a point. All right. So I'm going to slide that point up. Do 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 do. Music helps. You should sing to it. And try your best to get this into a point before you flatten anything. All right. It doesn't have to be perfect, but get it as close as you possibly can. So then I'm going to carefully make a seam, all right? And this is the extra. So you could use scissors if you have scissors to cut that off, but I'm just gonna fold it. So I'm gonna fold it over and seam it. I like to use my nails. That helps me tear it off evenly later. I'm gonna flip it over, fold it the other way, make a seam. And we've really bent this edge, so it should, in theory, just tear off. So again, I'm gonna hold this with my left hand, and starting it is the hardest, but just carefully pull and tear. Or like I said, you could use some scissors, but when we open it back up, we have a perfect square. All right, so if you are into origami, that's how I cut my paper too, to get a nice perfect square. So here we go. We are going to fold this from edge to edge. All right. Try and line them up nicely and seam, and then open it back up and go the opposite way. So edge to edge. So we're gonna end up with 4 quadrants. There we go. All right, so we are going to start with the pencil. So go ahead and find your pencil, make sure it's nice and sharp. You might want to have your handy dandy eraser nearby. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to fold this back up into a small square. All right. And you're just gonna fill this with some designs, all right? We're kind of creating a kaleidoscope drawing today, and the goal being that in each of the 4 corners of your square, you are going to fill your kaleidoscope drawing with a different color family, okay? So I'm just gonna start with a hole shape. Maybe I wanna do a triangle. Like this. Have some shapes maybe going off the page so they connect to the other side. It could be something random too. All right, have some lines going through. Maybe I just want some straight lines. Just fill the space with some lines and shapes. Don't make things that are too teeny tiny and intricate. That's gonna make things more difficult for you later. But some big shapes basic lines, maybe something else to kind of fill the rest of your space. Maybe I'll do like that. All right. I feel like I need something over here. That's a big open space. Maybe I'll just do a, I don't know, zigzag. You can draw while I decide. Okay, that looks plentiful. So now we're gonna open this back up. And on the back of your sketchbook, so I'm gonna flip my sketchbook over so I'm on this yucky part, my hard surface. Then I'm gonna use my Sharpie and I'm just gonna trace over my pencil lines with the Sharpie. All right, so I'm gonna stop this and show you when it's done. All right, so I have Sharpied over my lines, and if you just give it a second to dry, then I would go back over everything with the eraser and get rid of all those pencil lines. So just quickly over all your lines. Be gentle so we don't tear the paper. It is kind of thin drawing paper, so just be gentle. And once we have all that taken away, then we're gonna fold our paper so that we can trace this Sharpie design onto the other 4 sections. So I'm gonna do it like this. This is the side that I Sharpied, okay? I'm gonna fold it so that that Sharpie side stays out, right? And there's a clean space next to it and 2 empty spaces on the other side, okay? So when I fold it like this, I should, in theory, be able to flip this over, and you might have to hold it up to the light, but you can see that design through there, all right? You probably can't see it in this video, but it's there. All right, so basically I'm going to trace what I see from here through the paper onto this side. So I'll do pencil, Sharpie over top. I'll open this back up again and fold it the other way. And my 2 designs will be, you can see them on this side. So basically we're just gonna try and get this on the other 3 sides. All right, when you get to this point where you have one side Sharpied, the other side traced, just make sure that you open it back up before you trace this side with Sharpie again. Otherwise, it could bleed through into like spots that are just a little bit off, and it will make this side look a little messy. So make sure it's opened back up and that you're sketching on this surface. You might be able to see I've got some Sharpie that bled through here, just to make sure it doesn't bleed onto the tables or any other pages that we're going to use later. So make sure you get all your lines and then go back and erase any pencil you see. When you get this all traced with Sharpie and ready to go, then you're going to decide on 4 different color families that you will use to color each of these 4 quadrants. So for example, maybe one of my quadrants I'm only going to color with secondary colors. Maybe one of my quadrants I'm only going to use the color family of cool colors, all right? Maybe you choose a set of 3 analogous colors. Remember, analogous means next to, so any 3 primary and secondary colors next to each other on the color wheel. So in analogous, you can kind of ignore our tertiary colors and choose red, purple, blue, or maybe your analogous set is orange, yellow, green. So analogous could be, this is all over the place, making a mess. You could choose to just use complementary colors, or maybe you want to complete one of these boxes with a monochromatic value scale, which means you're choosing just one color. Mono means one, chromatic means color, so monochrome would be just one color, but maybe changing the value of that color in the different shapes that you see. All right, so pretend this is all colored or Sharpied over and ready to go. I'm gonna start in this box over here because it's ready for me, And I'm going to choose, let's do warm colors over here. So I'm just gonna double check, make sure my lines are erased, because if I color over them, like if I colored over this space with yellow and those pencil lines were still there, they're gonna show up through the yellow. So I am going to do this first. I'm going to look for my warm colors. So remember, these are oddly labeled. The one that I would guess is red actually says orange on it. So get your warm colors ready so that you're not tempted to use anything else while you're in the mode and focused on what you're doing. So in this box, it's going to be warm colors only. So I'm going to use red, orange, and yellow. Then in the next box, you're going to choose a completely different color family, So all four are colored differently. All right. So go ahead and finish up your Sharpies and choose your color families and go for it.